Hello!
Hello.
I had like a joke prepared, and I guess, oh well.
No jokes this episode. Serious takes only.
Welcome back to Kotaku XP. I'm a stupid freak, and I'm here to die tonight on a very special episode of Kotaku XP in space. That was what I was going to say.
I mean, it's great, and I love it, and I'm really glad you said it.
Because we're in space? Or because...
We're going to be talking about space.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about No Man's Sky, a game that I love.
Yeah, it's a game that you like, so we're going to talk about this game. But this whole episode is going to be about No Man's Sky. Is that the
sorry
case?
If you were expecting me to talk about literally anything else, but I can't.
No Man's Sky had a big update.
A big boy update.
Yeah, it was big boy update o'clock in the UK when the update hit.
And Lord, let me tell you.
Big boy o'clock minus 6 hours here
They
in
took
New
a
York.
game that I already liked a lot and made it even better, and in a way where I think everyone can like it now.
Everyone.
Even Tim Rogers.
Even me?
Even you.
I don't like No Man's Sky.
He doesn't like it.
I'm going to tell you why.
I don't know why.
When I first heard the name No Man's Sky, I thought, oh yeah, a game about ladies and airplanes. And it turns out it has nothing to do with...
It's not. It's not about that.
With ladies in airplanes. Instead, it's spaceships.
Yeah, it's genderless beings in space. And some aliens and lots of plants.
It's like, I thought, I was hoping for a spiritual sequel to Crimson Skies, which would be a nice thing for us to have.
Unfortunately, you're still going to wait a little bit longer for that one.
Yeah, that would be cool, a No Man's Sky style game with Crimson Skies, like good old biplanes, and you can like shoot people.
Honestly, yeah.
Good loud
that
machine
would actually be
guns.
pretty cool. Now I want that game in addition to No Man's Sky.
And I want it instead. But let's get started.
Okay, so I'm going to try to prove to Tim this episode that No Man's Sky is a good game and he should play it and everyone should play it.
Yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to bring up at No Man's Sky is that it is a game that is solely focused around discovery and like finding cool things, like having moments where your mind is just blown a little. You can like have a moment of pure joy in No Man's Sky just by like getting to the top of a hill and seeing the sunrise come up. It just makes you appreciate nature, which is so weird because you're like playing a game, but it makes me want to go out into my actual world and see these things also. But I mean, you're also going to see things that you would never see in real life. I like built my first base in the new save yesterday, and I landed on this beautiful planet that had like blue grass and like these beautiful trees, like huge trees with red leaves. And I was like, this is it. This is here. This is the planet that I want to call my own. This is my home base. And I sincerely, like, it is so nice to be able to play something that's just about like that experience of experiencing beauty and not about stress or killing things. I mean, you can get that stuff too if you want it, but the majority of your gameplay is just going to be about appreciating the game world. The game is it doesn't need so many features because you can just walk around and have a good time in it. And I sincerely don't have anything else to say on this topic, and I have like another minute. You have
another 28 seconds. We're doing this slightly professionally this time. So we've got words on a screen in front of us that say Gita can talk now, and then it tells us when she has 30 seconds left, and then in 15 seconds it's going to be my turn to talk.
Hopefully I don't just ramble.
So that's no, rambling is good. So I tried to take notes in my head while you were talking because I wanted to address specific points, and they were all just like joke notes. Like you said, there's blue grass. I was like, are you sure you aren't in Kentucky? So it's a game about finding cool stuff and just kind of walking around and finding stuff?
Yeah, just like it's such a pleasant, simple experience, and I like being able to do that.
And to do that period, or to do that in your home?
In my bed, under the covers, without actually leaving my house.
On the PlayStation Vita?
Yeah, I'm not on the Vita. No, I play it on my TV faces my bed because I live in a tiny New York apartment where I could not fit a desk in the room. So I also use my TV as my computer monitor, which is a really bad setup, but I don't really have a choice. So yeah, I lay it, propped up on pillows, controller in my hand.
And you just find stuff.
Just find stuff. Find some cool rocks. Found a rock that I thought was really cool yesterday. How many times you walk around in a game and just like get your mind blown by a rock?
So when you first saw this game announced and you saw the trailer for it, you know, I'm not trying to be mean to anybody who likes this game. You predicted that it was going to be what it is.
Yeah.
And then when you got it, you were very satisfied that it was what you thought it was going to be?
Yes, pretty much.
So, again, not hating on anybody.
He's got no hate in his heart.
No, I'm not a hater. I just tell it like it is sometimes. I'm sorry. So, a lot of people, they thought it was going to be something else. They thought it was going to be this big, involved, wild, weird game. And I saw it, and I was like, oh, I see what that is. And when I watched Bennett Foddy play it for a couple hours once, and it was just like, I'm like, yeah, I guess this is pretty chill. You know?
But that was your only reaction to it?
Yeah, it was just, this is pretty chill. But it's like, I don't know, I've read like 54 books so far in the year 2018. Like, I don't know. So maybe that's my No Man's Sky.
Books are his No Man's Sky.
Finding cool stuff in books.
Yeah, I feel that. So another thing I really like about No Man's Sky is just like the experience of having a spaceship.
You own a spaceship.
Yeah, the game gives you a lot of like the ability to feel like you have ownership over the things you make. Because each successive update has added more features that make you feel more like you are this lonely adventurer in space. So last night I was playing, and before I landed on this beautiful planet, I wandered into a space battle by accident, and I helped out this freighter. And I was flying around my spaceship doing like a bunch of cool moves, you know, shooting lasers and stuff like photon beams, whatever. And it just felt like really rad because I was like, this was a ship that I bought as an upgrade from my previous ship, and it felt, again, just like that sort of sci-fi experience that everyone kind of wants to have but will never have because that's just not achievable yet. And then as soon as I finished, the leader of the freighter hailed me aboard and gave me command over the freighter. So now I just have this massive freighter ship also. And I just like once I got that, it felt so Star Trek. I like felt so like, I just knocked this light and I feel like I did something bad. I just felt so like my game, I was like a significant player in the universe. Even though there's so many of people playing and like the universe is so big, I'm never going to see all of the stuff in No Man's Sky. I finally felt like my little corner of space actually belonged to me. And it was like weirdly profound. It was like, I don't really have those experiences in games where I feel ownership over my virtual stuff. And owning a spaceship, owning a freighter, having a base, all that stuff is like a good dopamine squirt, basically.
Oh, a dope squirt.
Just a dope squirt.
Nothing like a dope squirt.
Nothing like it.
Have you ever drank a squirt, like the soda?
Yeah, I've had a squirt.
It's a disgusting name for a soda.
It's not a good name.
Yeah.
It's like an okay soda. It's too like sugary.
It sounds like a British word for something that happens in the bathroom, is what it sounds like.
Gross.
Or maybe they should call it a slash. Should there be okay, let's...
Don't go down this road.
Okay, okay, so I do like the spaceships. I do like the way they look. I like how they look very clean and very like utopian space.
Yeah.
You know, they look very like legacy sci-fi novel cover. That's what the game is to me. It's like an old school sci-fi novel cover generator.
That's pretty much what it is. You've seen all the screenshots I've been taking.
Oh,
right?
I've seen a whole bunch of screenshots and videos, and I've watched streamers just play the game, and I'm just like, yeah, this seems pretty chill. Is usually what I say when I see it.
Yeah.
But I do like the way the spaceship looks. I saw that the spaceships got kind of upgraded now.
They got more tubing on them, but they still have that sort of utopian feel.
Utopian with a little bit more tubes.
Yeah.
Utopian. YouTube.
That's where YouTubers go when they die.
Oh no! Well, yeah. What is Utopia? Is that YouTube Utopia?
Just a hell nightmare zone.
Yeah. Oh God. It's just. Oh no. Where everybody says "Hey guys" to each other instead of "Hello."
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
You're gonna be watching this video on YouTube though. So.
Yeah. Welcome back to YouTube. So I like the way the spaceship looks. I remember thinking a long time ago when I played like Grand Theft Auto, and my friends are just playing Grand Theft Auto 3, and they're just crashing cars and they're rocket launchering police officers. You know, the old young person's wish fulfillment. And I'm just sitting there like, wouldn't it be cool if you could if you only had like one car and you owned it and it could get destroyed and then you had to buy a new one? And my friends were like, Shut up. So, well, I guess maybe that makes No Man's Sky a little bit more appealing, now that I think about it.
Okay. I think I'm winning him over. So, I mean, you said your version of chill is reading books. And I love books also. I read a lot of books as well. I just finished reading the book about the person who ran the Silk Road. Camping. That book is really good. That book is really, really good. It's a very fascinating story. Highly recommend it. I'm also trying to read October. I've been trying to read October since the last anniversary of the Russian Revolution, and I'm vowing to finish it before the next anniversary of the Russian Revolution.
You should finish it before October, before the end of September. What's the way my joke was going? Never mind.
It's a book about the Russian Revolution. It's China Miéville, and it's like he has a pretty long-winded writer in general, and then Russian names are also very long. So like every sentence is just a lot to get through. But anyway, so we have a stressful job. You might not think it, but we do. We do have a stressful job. I'm constantly stressed out. And putting on No Man's Sky, sometimes I do get too stressed to like actually absorb information. And No Man's Sky is just the right amount of engagement for me to get that relaxation feel that I would normally get like putting on a record and listening to like reading a book.
Yeah.
But I don't have to like read and understand knowledge. I don't know if that like sometimes you just get so jittery and anxious that like the only cure for me is playing a game like No Man's Sky, where the point is just to like breathe deeply and look at pretty colors. And it is the perfect game for that. I was one of those people that really dug Proteus because it just is asking you to walk around and look at shit and not think about anything else but this lovely little game world that does things that delight you and excite you. And I mean, that for me is like the big appeal. It's the perfect chill out game.
So you say it's chill out, but it has what you call, quote unquote, the right level of engagement. Meaning, there's sometimes when you want to relax and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's sometimes when you want to relax, but sort of like in an active way.
Yeah, where
right?
I want to feel like I'm doing something.
Like you're doing something.
But I'm not really doing anything.
A question that I always like talking about whenever I talk about video games with people is like, what video games do you like to play when you're sick?
Yeah.
Would you play No Man's Sky when you were sick?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. I feel like No Man's Sky, based on what I've seen and my impression of it being, that looks pretty chill. Like, what I've seen of No Man's Sky, I feel like it would make me kind of sad if I played it when I was sick. I like playing Dragon Quest when I'm sick. I played the Pokemon games when I was sick.
That's a good.
So those are like
sick games.
Because you're leveling stuff up and you're making progress. You feel like something is getting better. And I know you can make progress in No Man's Sky, but
it's way less like a point of the game than any other games. They've added that slowly over time, but I think if they make it any more mission-based, it'll kind of ruin what I like about the game.
Yeah.
Which is that you really are just given a big sandbox and you're told to just go.
So you say you did this thing, this space battle where you fought some guys and got into a freighter, and it was an NPC?
Yeah.
So it's like an NPC mission where an NPC gives you a freighter?
I had the choice. I could have not engaged. I could have just ran away, but I was like, I'm here.
Was it difficult?
It's gotten easier to do dogfights. It used to be really hard because the controlling wasn't great, but it wasn't that hard. It was actually pretty thrilling to pull it off.
So that's like the high adrenaline stuff, but the relaxing stuff, I mean, it sounds kind of like it's Animal Crossing in space.
A little bit lonelier than Animal Crossing.
Except now you've got the multiplayer, right?
Yeah, so people can jump in my game and hang out with me and stuff. So
yeah, so it's like, I guess it's sort of more Animal Crossing now than it used to be.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, when I want to relax, I go to sleep.
I
got my white noise. I got my my sleeping mask. You know?
You got a sleeping mask?
Yeah.
Do those work?
I mean, I like to shut out all the light.
You're
make my own sensory
I need a little bit of light.
A little bit?
Yeah, but I do need a white noise though. I gotta put a podcast on or else I can't sleep. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to half of a lot of podcasts.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if you're making a podcast out there,
just put all the good shit in the beginning.
Exactly.
And I will listen to that part. Yeah, exactly. So this is a weird thing I like about this.
A weird thing you like about the game. Let's hear it.
You so rarely run into planets that have like an Earth-like atmosphere in No Man's Sky. Everything's procedurally generated, so you never know what you're going to get when you land. Most of the time, you're going to land on planets that are huge deserts or covered in ice, or maybe I've just been unlucky. I've had really bad luck finding tropical planets or planets with trees and forests. And when you do find one, though, like I found my first one since I started playing at launch yesterday. When you do find a planet Kentucky. I'm going to name it that now. When you do find one, though, you just get so obsessed with the grass and how good and like lush the grass looks. It looks like a beautiful shag carpet, and it makes you want to just roll around in the grass. They did a really, really good job sort of simulating all of the things that are really fantastic about certain parts of nature. So when you see like a giant mushroom, you get obsessed with like the cilia underneath the bottom of the mushroom. Or when you see a good tree, you like look at the bark and you're like, man, bark is cool. And just those tiny little touches just make me so happy. And maybe I'll just roll down a hill, you know.
Roll down a real hill?
Roll down a real hill in real life.
Is there a roll down a hill button in No Man's Sky?
Unfortunately, no. They should add that.
Can you fall
Sean
down
Murray.
a hill on accident?
You can't. No, sorry. You do have a jetpack though in that room. That's really cool.
Yeah, the jetpack is kind of hilarious. I saw that and I was like, yeah, that jetpack's pretty chill. Is what I thought.
Yeah.
So I've seen some pictures of some plants on the No Man's Sky worlds, and the grass, it's like it does a lot of this like kind of movement.
Yeah, it's just softly
fingery
swaying
movement
at you.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. Is it just me, or when you see grass? Okay, what other games have good grass? But like, I don't know. I recall playing Uncharted 1 on the PlayStation 3 on my. I had an HD TV that I'd like just gotten, and Uncharted was like the first game I played that was like full, you know, like the true HD experience that I'd been promised, you know. And it's like I had an Xbox 360 and like Dead or Alive or whatever, and like other games that were HD Ridge Racer, but nothing that had the full experience the way Uncharted did. And I just remember seeing like a fern, like some fronds just kind of like moving. And I mean, this was PS3, right? But I remember seeing the undulating fronds and just being like, that looks a lot more appetizing than real lettuce. I would like to eat that plant.
It's like when they put those like little flakes in Japanese food that's really hot.
Bonito.
And you can see them like just wiggling at you, and you're like,
Yeah.
I want to eat the heck out of that.
That actually disturbs the garbage out of me.
Really?
I lose all my garbage, but I don't actually eat bonito. I don't eat meat.
Yeah.
But I've also never quite salivated over a green vegetable before. So my experience with the palm fronds and the ferns in Uncharted was eye awakening.
You
is what I
wanted
would
to
say.
eat them all.
But I want to say, you mentioned looking under a mushroom at the cilia and the vents, right? The gills.
Yeah.
That sounds like abject horror to me. Because,
Really?
I'm terrified of. I hate mushrooms.
Well, there's some real big ones in No Man's
They
Sky.
got
I'm sorry.
they got too many things going on.
Sometimes there's beetles with mushrooms on their back.
That's disgusting.
Okay. Maybe you won't like it for
I
that.
only like eating a digital mushroom and then jumping on a beetle's back in Super Mario Brothers. The first one.
Just the first one.
Oh, I like all of the three's the best.
Three's the best.
The end.
Okay, the last thing I like about this game is not something that's going to apply to you whatsoever, and I have to sort of talk around it because I don't want the YouTube police to come get me.
There's YouTube police.
There's a knock down my door.
Are you
Arrest me.
talking about how influential this game is?
If anyone ever calls me an influencer, I'm going to pop him in the mouth.
An influencer?
Never call me that.
You know what? The only influencer I care about is hard liquor. Single malt Scotch whiskey. That's my influencer. It puts me under the influence. There's nothing like drinking an ice cold Scotch at the end of a long day of hard work. Right?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty nice. But I sometimes partake in other
Inebriants?
Inebriants? Is that a word?
Inebriationalizer.
Inebriationalizers? Yeah. There's a subreddit called No Man's High.
Oh, NMH.
And
is that the
that's
movie
like
about the rats?
Totally the vibe of the game if you're a person that enjoys.
Yeah.
Browsing a subreddit like No Man's High, you would really understand the ideal state of mind to be in while you play this game. It's great.
It's great.
It's just so, like, you just forget what you're doing. And, like, there's nothing like getting lost in a game for me. Just, I love that.
I have a friend out there, he might be watching this, where he saw No Man's Sky, and he just immediately knew what was up.
Yeah.
And he got it, and he, has a USB thumb drive where he puts his music on it, and he puts that into the PS4 to listen to the custom soundtrack.
Yeah.
By the way, Square Enix, if you're watching this, Dragon Quest XI needs a custom soundtrack feature on the PlayStation 4. The Japanese version doesn't let you listen to your own music. That's ridiculous. I mean, I love the music, but come on. So he would put on his own music, and we're talking like heavy, loud, slow, dreamy stuff. You know, the good stuff. So here's the thing about me is I actually met this guy. First time I met him, a long time ago. I met him at a show for the type of band that will play like one chord for about 60 or 70 minutes.
Yeah, just like 7-minute songs about a bridge.
So I went to see those bands in Tokyo, Japan.
Oh, that must have been really fun.
And it was fun, but I mean, Tokyo's, there's no flood warnings in effect for Tokyo. It's a dry place, if you know what I mean. So they're not doing drugs. I mean, they actually do have floods fairly frequently. They don't do drugs at shows there. And so it's just funny that, you meet another American guy and he's like, yeah, dude, I wish I could smoke weed here and not go to jail for the rest of my life.
They're very strict about it in Japan.
So I love going to shows with real loud, slow music. And I mean, you should hear this strange concoction of noise that I listen to when I go to sleep, right? It's like I listen to a very nice droning sound. I can just chill out with that stuff.
Yeah.
Whether I'm under the influence of anything or not.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that as I get older, my propensity, not really the word, my propensity to chill out with such things that a child would find abjectly horrifyingly boring has kind of increased.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is maybe No Man's Sky is slightly too exciting for my level of my level of chill.
You might have liked it at launch. There was a lot less to do.
I chill so hard. You have no idea how dark is my room as I sit upright like a switched off robot.
You're just staring.
So No Man's Sky, my verdict, too exciting.
All right. Okay. Well, I tried to convince him, everybody. I gave my best shot. Hey, man, I saw Boris in college.
Boris.
They're so good. I saw them in college. They came, and someone that was doing the concert sound for that show I went to told me that, like, I went to Oberlin. Ohio gave them, like, total culture shock unlike anything else.
Just Ohio?
Just, like, being in Ohio, they, like, couldn't understand, like, a small Midwestern town.
That's funny.
That was, like, especially apparently the bassist, like, really freaked out. Like, she just couldn't handle being in America. But it was something, I guess they did okay in, like, bigger cities, but this, like, it's a very, very small town. Yeah. It's a very small town. And
so Boris in Japan, at the time I was seeing them, there's nobody was at the shows. Really? I only liked Boris because that was the kind of music that a non-Japanese person liked from Japan, and I appreciated don't worry, I'm not saying I liked them before they were cool. I was appreciating the ability to go see them in a tiny venue with nobody else.
Yeah.
I was like, lol. I was really entertained by that.
Yeah. I saw them. It was like the bar in our student union.
They should get Boris to do some official music for No Man's
Sky. They
Sky.
should actually, Sean Murray.
Yeah, call him up.
Call up Boris. I would absolutely love that.
Just ask him to do a song called No Man's Sky.
It'll be 30 minutes and it'll be great.
Yeah.